Hello, welcome back. Back to Fit for Facilitation.
Eh,
So you survived the weekend.
You're talking to
We
yourself, Alex.
survived. We survived the
Well,
weekend.
Mehdi barely.
Mehdi's
barely.
kick.
Mehdi's. So you know the drill. Let's use the chat again. Tell us where you're calling from. Or maybe you can tell us how many sessions, how many FFF sessions you have done. Hello, Vivienne. Happy Monday, everyone. So tell us where you're calling from, how many FFF sessions you have done, and maybe what you expect from today's session. Number 6 for Said, yeah. You did all of them, Said, wow.
Yeah.
Hello
Hello,
from
Varsha.
Quebec. Salut, Quebec.
I did one more than
5
Nathy.
session.
Oh my God.
First session for you. Well, you have to start somewhere.
Shanghai. We have someone from Shanghai. Wow.
Oslo, Norway. We have both sides of the Atlantic. Lincoln from the
Ireland.
US.
I see some new faces. It's so nice.
Second session. Number 6. Well, Paul, you did all of them, right?
When does Paul sleep? And I don't know.
He doesn't. He doesn't. All of them too for Vivienne. That's called dedication. Oh, same for you, Sarika. Number 6. And you still survived. 5, 3. Okay, everyone.
This music, we should really make a FFF playlist.
Yeah.
Because we're all dreaming of level up since Mehdi's session last time. It's crazy.
Yes, and for those of you who were at my last session, well, today, I'm sorry. No lip sync today. No, I cannot do that every time, okay? Okay, so I'm super happy to be with you all today, along with my amazing buddies. We have Mehdi, oh, by the way, send some good vibes to Mehdi because he's a little bit ill today, a little bit ill. So you need to send some good vibes. My good friend Said is there, and even Nathy, you are back. This time you didn't miss my session. Thank you, Nathy.
I'm so sorry, but you got my video, right?
Yeah, your video was great. Thanks a lot for taking the time to do that. All right, so what is today about? Today, I'm going to show you how I kickstarted a new facilitation and training offering. And before we dive into my story, I just want to set the stage. So I'm going to share a real case study, my own story. And this story is it's a very recent story, how I built a successful offering from scratch, starting from zero. And in less than 4 months, I sold over 25K worth of workshops without any selling effort. And of course, disclaimer, this is based on my context, my decisions, my challenges, my experience, my expertise, and all of that might differ from your own. Okay, but I try to do a fun exercise for you because this presentation, it's the first time I do it. Okay, so it's kind of a prototype too. So the way I prepared this session is that I tried to document my story, to remember everything that I did and to see it on the timeline, okay? And at different point in that story, I try to extract the key takeaways, okay? Because this is my story, and at some point, okay, maybe there is a key takeaway here, or maybe there is a key takeaway here. You see, that's the exercise I did, and I hope that you're gonna find them useful for your own experience, your own context, and your own business. All right, so are we go for that? You wanna stay here? Yes, I wanna see the thumb ups, please. Thank you. Great. So who is it for? By the way, this is, if you want to, let's see if you want to stay in this webinar. So I think it's for anyone who is looking to kickstart a new offering and grow their business. Also, if you are interested in AI and want to see if you could build an offering around this trend, this will be useful too. But I want really to point out that even if the project and the offering I built is about AI, the key takeaways are totally generic. And also, it will be for you if you are curious. And by the way, who is talking? Well, that's me. I'm Alex. And since 2012, I've been exploring how tech can support collective intelligence. I created Storms, which is an app that some of you have already tested last Friday. And I'm specialized in large group workshops. I can do more than 1,000 people in the same room. I've done it several times. And I also built the AI features in Storms and started the AI Tinkers Club, where we learn by tinkering, experimenting, and sharing together. And finally, I've also created the AI Tinkers cards, which this case study is all about. But before we dive in, you know that this week we have planned plenty of events. And also, we have planned a party. So please don't miss the party. It will be fun and we will have some gifts. And if you haven't registered to the party, you need to head over to the Fit for Facilitation website and you see the different sessions that we have planned for you during this week. And the last one is the party. So we want to have as many people as possible to the party so that we can level up, level up, level up. All right. So to deserve the party, yeah.
No, sorry.
Okay, no problem. But of course, to deserve the party, we have to get back to work. So let me share my story. And that's the prologue, the birth of a product. So let me tell you the story. Last year, one of my loyal clients, a big company, but I have been working for them for over 5 years, and they called me. And they told me, yeah, Alex, we'd like to organize a workshop about AI. And when they made the request, as soon as they made the request, an idea popped into my head. And I told myself, what if I created a card deck, a little bit like that? I had this in mind. What if I created a card deck to use during the workshop? I told myself, not only it would make for a great workshop, but also maybe if it works, I can reuse it and make an offer around it. And this mindset thing, I think it's my first takeaway. And the takeaway is you need to think like a product creator. Okay? Always look for ways to turn a one-time service into a reusable set. Maybe it won't work. Okay? Plenty of times I've started something that I thought could be a great product and I haven't reused it. But sometimes it works. Of course, at the same time, I was thinking this crazy idea because I didn't tell you, but the workshop was 2 weeks later. Okay. So of course, a second voice in my head told me, come on, Alex, you won't have enough time. The workshop is in 2 or 3 weeks, blah, 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 blah. But I'm crazy, so I didn't listen to that voice. I decided to go for it and propose the idea to the client. And guess what? They said yes. So imagine I had listened to that voice. Well, this very webinar would be over. No story to tell, no success story. to tell. So that's already our second takeaway. And ignore the voice of doubt. When you see a real opportunity, you need to trust yourself. Even you're going to see all the constraints, you're going to see all the roadblocks, but here that was the timing that feels tight. But ignore the voice of a doubt, trust yourself, and go for it. So the client said yes. So now I have sold this first workshop. It's going to happen in 2 or 3 weeks. So I need to create a prototype. So the prototype. Before we move on to the next chapters of my story, I need to show you the basic concept of the AI Tinker's card so that you can understand what I'm talking about, and also because I'm very proud of the cards. So at the center, so let me maybe do that again. So at the center, there is a mini board. That's the mat, and that's the visual representation of an AI assistant or an AI agent, all right? So this is the mat. And the mat has slots. You have slots for the task, for the input, for the output, and sometimes for external capabilities that give more powers to the AI assistant. So the idea is very simple. The participants, they pick cards and they combine them around the mat to model a specific use case. So when I do these workshops, I guide them first through very simple use case, text input, text output, and then I go progressively to something that is more complex, so that they quickly understand how a large language model or an AI agent works. And then once they have all the possibilities, they use the same cards to brainstorm a real use case for them. So here you have an example. That's the card deck. And then you have to know that I love cards, and clients don't know a lot about cards. So you always have to think about how you're going to sell that so that they don't think it's a toy. And this is what I always say when I do workshop with cards. So physical cards are powerful because they are kinesthetics, they use the hands. They are collaborative and memorable. You know, you can take a card, give it to your colleague, you can sort them together collaboratively. They are memorable, they stay visible on the table, unless, unlike a slide that goes away. So it's really good. And finally, and then I finish with that, to give you a kind of ideas of the activities I run with them. A very simple activity, 5 cards, machine learning, deep learning, etc. And the goal is to order them from most general to most specific. It's super simple, right? They have to order them, but they're a team. They have to collaborate, and they're going to struggle because I didn't tell them what are the meanings before. And this struggle, this collaboration, it's called collaborative learning. And with that, they learn very well. And then I explain, and it's much more memorable than showing slides. And just to show you another activity, and then I'm done, I can do a challenge. I ask the teams, how on earth is ChatGPT able to produce a chart? So I tell them, yes, at the output, there's a chart, but what is the input? What is the capability that is used? And they need to work together to model the process using the mat, picking input, output, and capability cards. The cool thing is that most of them don't know the answer, so they have to collaborate, to discuss, and to explore. And then when I reveal the correct combination of cards, they listen to me and they learn. Okay, so that's all what I wanted to tell you about the product. Now that you understand it and the type of workshop that I'm going to sell, let's get back to the story. So I have built my prototype, And I'm lucky that I've done several card decks before, so I knew a print shop very well, and they were able to print the cards something like 2 days before the workshop. They were ready. And now it's the day of the workshop. First workshop, small group. I don't remember. I think it was 3 tables. Quite an ugly room, but at least I was able to test my prototype. And you know what? It was crazy. I still remember that. From the very first minute of the workshop, I knew that it was working. I was seeing people discussing, I was seeing people taking the cards, giving the cards to the others, spreading the cards on the table. People were engaged, everything felt alive, and the interaction was much better than what I had expected. So now, very important. And this is about the same mindset I was speaking about. This workshop was not only about validating the quality of the card deck. Remember the mindset. I had in mind that I might have the potential for something I could resell and resell and resell. So I had planned ahead to do everything I could to help me for the future resale of that workshop. And one of the things you need, and one of the easiest things to do, is photos. Photos. So I took a few discrete photos during the session. I avoided the faces, only the hands and the cards, so that I don't have to ask for authorization. So the idea is that I'd have marketing materials ready for reuse during delivery. And that's, I think, one of the key takeaways. Because I was thinking that I could reuse that first, I immediately think of taking photos. And even if I had no pro photograph in that session, one photo is better than no photo. One bad amateur photo is better than no photo, especially that you're going to see how I use them after that. Okay, so that's one thing you can do during a workshop to prepare for resale. And you see, it was the first one. Huh? It was a prototype. And still I was thinking about it. And now there is another thing that you can do during a workshop. And by the way, this piece of advice is a generic advice that you should do for every single workshop, reusable or not. The one thing that you should always do is ask for a testimonial. And listen to me. I don't wait for a week after the workshop to ask for testimonial. I don't even wait for 3 days after the workshop. I don't even wait for the day after the workshop. And guess what? I don't even wait for the end of the workshop. No. What I do is I ask it at what I call peak time during the workshop. Okay, so I catch people when their energy and enthusiasm are at their highest. And that's not at the end of the workshop. It can be very high, but I wait for the client to tell me something like, wow, these cards, they work so well. And then, oops, I grab the opportunity and then immediately tell them, oh, that's great. I'm really happy that it works so well. By the way, I'm going to ask you for a testimonial. Would you agree to do that after the session? And no, I don't know if the question was right now, but it doesn't break the flow because I don't do it while I'm speaking or while I'm doing an instruction. I'm doing that because at some point people are doing card activities. So the participants are working and maybe the organizer, the big client, comes to me and we make a little debrief. Yeah, this activity is quite good. It's really good, and this is where I ask for them to. Yes, I just ask the permission. I make them aware. So that they have that top of the mind and they remember the moment. They remember the moment. So, okay.
Yes, I ask also, it's a good point because I try also to ask when I have workshops that are on 1 or 2 days, I try to catch testimonials during the breaks. And for example, when I have a team I'm confident with, I give them my mobile and ask one to film the other while they are talking about what is going well during the workshops. And these are just for my customers, not for LinkedIn or anything, but so that I catch it and I can give it to the decider after. So this is a good point.
Yeah, and if I had to draw a curve of really there is the peak moment where there is a great activity, great engagement, they have it top of the mind. This is the best moment to write. And the more you wait, it's going to drop significantly.
Absolutely.
And after the workshop,
they
the
are
days
tired.
after, they have their emails to answer. There are many, many things to answer. And they forget a little bit about what they lived. So, yeah. And of course, I don't ask for the testimonial during, but I tell them, think about it. And I tell them, I want them to tell me, yes, I'm going to do it. All right. So let's step back for a moment. So we are now the day after the workshop, okay? So what did I just do? So I built a prototype and I sold a workshop using the prototype. Better than that, in my budget, I had the time. I told them that I would build the card deck for them. So I sold the design of this card deck. Okay, I didn't sell it a lot, but nevertheless, I sold some time related to doing that. What didn't I do? I didn't run free tests. I didn't offer free workshops, okay? Everything was done on sold time. Why? Because I was confident that it would work. So this is why I say it's my own experience. It's not my first serious game. I've done a lot of serious games before, and I've done some serious games that are way more complicated. I have one on change management like that, which is a full box and stuff like that. So I know a little bit about building serious games. Also, I know the topic AI quite well. So I was very confident. But you also know a lot of things, okay? And I know from experience, because sometimes I do a little bit of coaching. It's not, I don't do that for a living, but if people ask me, I do. And I can tell you that most of the time, people are not selling early enough. And that's another key takeaway. Stop making excuses for not selling. You need to sell earlier. You need to, maybe you don't need that last test. Maybe you don't need that next survey. Sell earlier. Because if you know your topic, trust yourself, trust your skills, and skip unnecessary delay, and you're going to make your first sale. So at the end of this first workshop, I had a working prototype, I had a case study, I had a testimonial, and I had a few good enough photos ready to use. So good enough. And at the same time, I avoided everything that would cost me unnecessary time and money, both time and money. I didn't spend time on a business plan. I didn't spend time or money on a website. I didn't spend time on surveys. I didn't spend money on ads. And I didn't waste my time and money on a cold calling campaign. Okay. And 5 or 10 years ago, I might have rushed to build all of that, maybe a business plan, at least a website, but not this time. no website, no brochure, not even a PPT brochure. Okay, I knew that my next step was simple. I need to sell it again. Okay, and I think that might be another takeaway is that in order to sell for the second time, you don't need to scale your marketing yet. Okay, so sell before you scale your marketing. Okay, and make it simple. So how did I sell it again? So when I went for my second sale, I just used one of my favorite framework, something that I called HOT, H-O-T. Super simple. And maybe you're going to think, well, so simple, it's boring. But anyway, that's the thing I really use. So do you know what HOT stands for? Well, it stands for hottest opportunities today. What are my hottest opportunities today? And basically, it's a framework. And by the way, you're going to get a PDF at the end with a summary of the different criteria and rating that I use for that. If you stay until the end. So I look at three things. How recent and deep, both are very important. Recent and deep the last contact was with a client. Then I look at how strong the relationship is over the last 4 months. Because after 4 months, nothing counts. They forgot about you. And the third one, maybe the least important, is how well my offer fits with what they need. Why I say it's the least important? Because maybe my offer is not good for them, but it might be good for someone they know. Okay, so if someone, you have a very good relationship with them and recent and deep, you need to contact them because they are strong, they are on fire for you. Okay, so that's the best practice. Focus on your hottest client first. I say that because a lot of people, they're going to start doing cold emailing before that. That's just the low-hanging fruit is your hottest client first. By the way, I know that I'm going to have a question at the end about, well, Alex, for you, it's different. You already have a lot of contacts and a lot of clients, but for me, I don't. So I cannot use this system. And my answer is, yes, you can use this system, and I'm going to answer it in the Q&A. So I looked at my hot board, okay, and who was sitting on the extreme right of my hot scale, you know, the on fire. So of course, there was the client from my latest workshop. So I knew that I could ask them for referrals inside the company, but also very, very hot. I had the client for my next workshop. And by chance, I had another totally unrelated workshop the week after, okay, with a different client. So again, always be selling. I mean, I was doing the workshop. It was a long workshop. So at some point there was a break. And during the break, the mood was very good and we had nothing to prepare. I casually brought up AI and tested a little bit about their frustration about AI. And I showed them the card deck. Because who needs a brochure when you have cards? I mean, the cards themselves are the best-selling tool. So,
and the pink one are the best-selling tool.
the pink one, yeah, this one's.
Just to rebound on what you say, can you remember I was in Jakarta for a workshop I told about in my first session, and in this workshop I talked about the next AI workshops that we would prepare you and I for a session in Singapore. And then I got a call from this client 2 weeks later we need to talk about AI workshop. So I was just mentioning that we were preparing another workshop, and the workshop was not even designed, but I knew that the topic would interest my client. So this is always the kind of small talk that always bring really great opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. And simple conversations, by the way. So this is, by the way, this is as simple as that. I sold my second workshop with the AI cards during the break of another workshop. Okay, so always be selling. And again, it doesn't, you have to find the right moment, of course, and you have to be very subtle and not pushy and whatever. It was just a conversation about AI. And it was just, oh, I just created this card deck. Let's talk about that next week. As simple as that. Of course, the selling is not closed, but you did the most important thing, you opened the door. Again, why? Because they are in very positive mood. They see you in action. They know that you are good. They know what you can do. So they are very open to any kind of ideas that you have. Of course, if your workshop is a nightmare and doesn't go well, don't try to sell. Anyway, maybe another takeaway that I extracted is this one, is that sell through conversations. Okay, not cold campaign. I mean, now that before I was an agency with 10 people, so I had to have very robust marketing and selling systems to be able, I had to bring 100K euro per month. That was a nightmare. So I had to have big systems. But if you're a freelance or a very small company, you don't need so many workshops per month. Okay, you need 1 or 2. Okay, so use your hot system, your contact, sell for conversation, do this conversation when you are with your clients at the peak moments, etc., etc. And just to show you the result of that conversation is that, so that was an easy sale, €0 marketing sale, 0 awkward selling calls, okay? And the second workshop I sold, well, it was massive. It was 300 persons learning GenAI together. Okay, so what you see here on the photo is one part of the room, only one part, because there were 2 mezzanines, 300 persons, 50 tables, I think, 50 card decks, all the people learning GenAI together with my cards. And all of that sold through a conversation in a break during a previous workshops, naturally, without selling. Voilà. So I hadn't fully validated my offering, that my offering would scale because it's only 2 data points, okay? But this first data point was showing that, yeah, maybe this offering could be a hit. When I say a hit, it's at my level of a one-person consulting team, facilitation team. So now, after the second sale, what did I do? I went back to my hot board. And now I started to do the thing a little bit more consistently. And I contacted the 10 hottest prospects one by one. And when you do that, now you have to be a little bit more careful. Okay, when you start to do things consistently with a process, you might want to maximize your chances of success. And in my case, each time I talk to one of my hot prospects, I wanted to maximize the impact. So this is where I put some thinking on my marketing and I position my offer carefully so that I have maximum chance of converting. And what I did specific to my case here is that I did not try to sell strategic AI consulting, because this is where you have the big firms. You have BCG, you have Capgemini, you have all these big firms already in place, already doing big strategic AI projects. What I did is I targeted regular employee teams, the HR team, the internal communication team, the external communication team, the project team, the accounting team, okay? These are the person who need real practical help with AI adoption. So the key takeaway, and this one is more easy to say than to apply, the key takeaway is that you really have to differentiate and to target underserved needs. You need to find the gap where the big players are not, and you need to go there. And when I spoke to my client, so again, that's specific to my offering, I told them, okay, so this was my argumentation. Okay, so great, you have your corporate AI project. Great, bravo, congratulations. You have implemented a chat assistant, maybe ChatGPT, maybe Copilot, or maybe something custom. Bravo. And you even have online training for all your employees to do prompt engineering. That's great. But by the way, are your employees actually using AI day to day? How many times per day? And the answer was, well, in fact, they are not using AI. And this is where I positioned my own offering as a way to solve that problem. And that problem is huge because, this is change management. People, they put these tools in place. They even put some first training, but people are still not using the tools. So I'd say my estimation right now is that 99% of teams do not use AI the way they could do. So the potential market for me is 99% of the market. Obviously, I don't have the time for all of that. So this is how I got my next workshop, with this kind of conversation. And again, that's the next takeaway. And again, easier to say than to do. You would have to do some real thinking to find that. It's to sell to real frustration, not nice to have. And here the frustration is, well, we have tools at our disposal, but no one are using these tools. And they knew that. They knew the frustration. They knew the problem. So when I talk about that, it rings a bell. But then I bring my solution and my kind of workshops. Let me have a look at the chat very quickly. Okay. It's mainly, I've done mainly in person because cards, Alex doesn't trust us. I trust you, Mehdi, of course. Yeah, it's mainly in person, but now I did a variation with a Miro board and virtual cards, so I can do that online. And it's it's minimum 90 minutes, and the right format is 3 hours. Okay, let me back. Yeah.
This is also a good point. When you have done one of your workshop 1, 2, 3 times in person, why not turning this in a remote session? So you prepare your Miro board so that you can sell the same workshop in another kind of format, so that you have two different formats to offer to your clients, because some clients want to have this in person, but they also have international teams they cannot bring in one room. So you can propose a one-day workshop in person, but alternatively a 3-hour session remotely. So this is also you to convert your in-person product in remote workshop, or remote workshop in in-person workshops.
Yeah, and as Mehdi says, Miro works great for that. Even myself, who is a fan of storms, I use Miro for that because it's the right tool for the right job. And I did my first virtual workshops, but way after doing the in-person ones. Okay, next point of the story. So now I have sold it several times. And what I want to show you is that what I think, and especially for this product for corporate clients, big corporation, what's the easiest way to get new clients? And I have a success story that illustrates exactly that. So at some point, I had a workshop with a big insurance company. I had all the communication teams, internal and external. So it was about 45 people. And so I delivered the workshop. It was working very well. And you know what I do when it's working very well? I find an opportunity at some point to ask questions or to do a little bit of soft selling. And so they came to me and they told me, wow, Alex, that's great. And I say, yeah, you see, it works very well. And for your team in communication, by the way, do you think there would be any other teams or department or division in your company that might benefit from this session? So that's the most powerful selling device that I had for this offering, leveraging internal referrals, expanding horizontally inside the same company where you already have trust from someone inside. You have an insider. So leverage that insider. So real story, no exaggeration. I did this one workshop with 45 people from the communication department. 1 week later, or maybe 10 days later, I had 3 other leads from the same company. Okay, internal word of mouth. That's free marketing. They are doing the selling for you. So the only thing you need to do is to nudge it. Okay, so during the workshop, you ask for it. And after the workshop, oh, you told me about this division about global health. Maybe you can give me the name of someone. Okay, it works like hell. So I had these different leads, and one of them. So I think that's the final chapter of my story. One of them was I received an email. I was crazy. I got a request for a 1,000-person hybrid event. Okay, so I was already imagining in my head the 30K budget. So I was very excited. But during the first call, I found out, they told me, okay, so we heard about your great workshop about AI, that it was great facilitation, blah, blah, blah. By the way, we have 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Okay, so first reaction in my head, frustration, I won't be able to do anything in 15 minutes. And then my positive mindset kicked in. I realized that, in fact, I wasn't losing an opportunity, I was building a new opportunity. A 15-minute presentation in front of 1,000 people, that could become the perfect lead magnet for my bigger GenAI training with the card deck. Okay, so that when I read that story, you can extract this other takeaway. Always look to turn your constraints into opportunities, right? Even if the situation isn't ideal, you have to find a way to make it work for you. And sometimes it works even better when you have turned around the difficulty into an opportunity. So here, I think that I did 2 important things. The first is, even if it was only 15 minutes, I didn't do it for free. Not at all. I have to say that I hesitated a lot. I even asked to my buddies on the AI Thinkers Club. So I posted on the club and I told them, okay, I have this 15-minute presentation in front of 1,000 people. I kind of hesitate to sell it for a big budget because it's only 15 minutes. But at the same time, it's my full expertise that is within these 15 minutes. And the members of the AI Thinkers Club told me, no, you have to sell it because indeed you sell your expertise. So this is what I did. And I sold these 15 minutes for 1,700 euros. Not bad, right? For 15 minutes. And they said, okay. So maybe I should have sold it for more. Anyway, that's another takeaway. Value your work, value your expertise, and charge for it. Even small opportunities deserve a compensation. Okay. And the other thing is that I took it very seriously because I already had in my mind that this was not only a presentation for this 1,700 euros, but it will be my future lead magnet. So again, product mindset. Okay. So I spent a lot of time designing the presentation. By the way, doing a presentation for 15 minutes is more difficult than for 1 hour. Okay. So I built a high energy storytelling, impactful talk, strong, very clean and minimalistic slides, a clear message, tight structure. I spent a lot of time. And the really cool part is that now this 15-minute talk is a double asset. I can sell it as a paid product, okay? Because, you know, I do a lot of large group workshops. So part of my network are event agencies that are doing a lot of internal events for big companies. And it can be half a day or 1 day. And sometimes I can sell a 3-hour workshops, but often their agenda is very tight. Okay, so I don't have enough room in the seminar to sell my workshops. But a 15-minute presentation on a topic, on such a hot topic than AI, very easy to sell to the event agencies because they can tell their client, well, AI is part of your agenda. We have a guy who can do a 15-minute presentation, and also I had testimonials. I did it only once, but I already got some testimonials on how good it was. So I can sell it as a paid product to event agencies, and at the same time, or I can use it as a lead magnet to attract managers and teams who are perfect for my other offering with the GenAI training with the cards. So that's one of, I think, the most difficult thing to do. You have to create a great lead magnet. That's one of the best way to sell, okay? If you can think, and you need to be creative because everybody is doing PDFs or white papers or stuff like that. But if you can create a lead magnet that is adapted to you, to your offering, and to your target audience, then it's going to pull the new client to you, okay? So if you can find something simple and powerful that's going to attract new business, that's perfect. And you see that I also have the bonus points. If you can sell the lead magnet instead of offering the lead magnet, well, woo, that's perfect. That's the beauty of it. If you think like a product creator, if you move fast, if you focus on the real needs, if you have something that speaks directly to the day-to-day frustration of your client, well, you have a lot of opportunities. And then don't overthink it. Just try to sell. So that's the end of my little case study. And first of all, I hope you enjoyed that. But it's not finished. I have a little exercise for you. So let me show you. So I have here a Storms workshop where I put the different takeaways, 14 cards, prepare for reuse, value your work, etc. And The idea is that you take a moment to reflect on the ones that are the most important to you. And one of the ways to do that, and maybe the one that you could try to work on, okay? And one of the ways to do that is to consider that your time is like money. And I'm going to give you a budget of $100, okay? And you're going to allocate your $100 on the takeaways that you think are the most important. So how to do that in Storms, and then I'm going to give you the link, is that you look at the different cards. By the way, I did something smart. Sometimes I do something smart. I've sorted the cards randomly so that you are not influenced by the orders of the card. So each one of you has a different random order. So let's say that, for example, you think that the lead magnet stuff is probably the most important. You click on the card to open it, and then you can allocate your points. So you click in between and you see, for example, I think it's really important. I can put 60 points and then fine tune to 65. Then I click outside. So you see my 65 points and maybe think like product creator. I think I need to work on that. And you have 100 points and you see the remaining number of points here. Okay. So I'm going to show you that. Okay.
You create this activity like 5 minutes before the workshop with Storms, right?
Not 5 minutes, but this morning.
Okay.
So you can, I activated the log as a guest, so you don't need to create an account on Storms. You don't need to put an email. Just either click on the link that Said has put in the chat, or use your phone if you want. And take a few minutes to vote, to allocate your 100 points. And maybe take notes. You can also comment if you want. And if you have any issues, you can ask questions on the chat or out loud. So I see that I have 61 participants. It seems that all of you are in.
We don't have a sell your prototype or something like this. This is the lead magnet, right? Sell your lead magnet if you can, or be paid by prototyping something that can be repeatable after, right?
Stop making excuses, sell early.
Yeah.
Some of them might be a little bit overlapping, I realize, but I created this just for the webinar, so they are not perfect, I guess.
They are perfect, Alex. It's perfect. So much key takeaways in one session of 1 hour. You have not even fulfilled the 1 hour. Are you kidding? How many we have? 1, 2, 3.
14.
Crazy.
All right, let's take another 30 seconds. And then I'm going to stop. And don't try to keep the money. You have to spend it all. All right. Okay, last second, and then you're gonna be able to see the results on your own screen too. 3, 2, 1, et voilà. Okay, so let's have a conversation. And by the way, let me see. Oh, did I activate the comments? No, let me activate the comments. Up. Okay, so if you want, you can comment on the most important takeaways. Anyone wanna say something? Maybe comment.
You have great comments in the chat. You are worth every penny, Alex.
Thank you, Christian. Any reaction? So we have, let me see. Think like a product creator. 32 of you selected this one. Some of you put in between 60, 70 points. Is that the same hoodie from 2012? No, it's not. I hadn't any hoodie at that time. Okay, so think like a product creator, really, and in a tight second, sell to real frustration and not nice to have. So this one is quite a traditional one, by the way. And it's easier. It's one of the takeaways that is easier said than done. Okay, for example, storms that I tried to solve for 12 years. At the beginning, I didn't see, but I had positioned it as a nice to have. And that might be one of the reasons I'm not as successful as people like Miro or Mural or others like that. It's only way later that I understood how to make them aware that the one thing that was important to consider storms not as a nice to have, but as an answer to a big problem. Okay. Okay. Any question? If we don't, we can go to the next thing. Is that so? It's a little call to action for you. You see the little hug. Maybe you want to build this with me and others. Okay, because everything I shared with you today started from building that first simple prototype, the AI Tinker's cards. And I decided at some point, because that was more fun for me, I made the decision to open it up. So everybody here and outside can buy the AI Tinker's cards, okay? But the card is one thing, and it might be the easiest thing. So you can buy the cards. I have a €1 starter kit and stuff like that. But what I also did, and I think that not everybody is doing that, I created a knowledge base, totally open source, with absolutely all the activities that I'm doing with the cards. Okay, so for example, this opening activity, the inside the black box, which is an activity without cards, but I use it in my workshops. All the activities that I document them when I have time, and I give them to the community. And right now, speaking of that community, I'm kickstarting a community with other trainers, other facilitators that want to use the cards to sell GenAI workshops and training. Okay, and I'm going to be totally transparent, guys. It's just the seed of a community right now. It's not really a community. It's too small, not enough people, not enough engagement. Okay, but that's my big project. I want to build the best product possible to teach GenAI. Yeah, and I want to build the best community around that product. So getting started is super simple. You download the starter kit and Right now, because it's just the seed of a community, I have a special offer where for only €9 lifetime, for €9, you get a lifetime access to the community. Okay. When the community is going to become more dynamic, I don't know when. Maybe it's going to be in 1 month. Maybe it's going to be in 12 months. It's going to take the time it takes. I'll move it to a more traditional monthly membership. So that's my call to action to you today. If you're interested, if you're excited about the cards, if you think that you want to make a business out of it, please join us. I make it very easy. You buy the €1 starter kit, and then you add the community access if you want. If you don't want, you don't do it. And then we build that all together. So that's my big project for the coming months. That's my new preferred project. I really want to invest time on that. And if you want to come with me and start building a new offering around this card, you're more than welcome.
And when
Well,
Alex
yeah.
when Alex wants to do something, he just do.
Yeah, I'm a doer.
Yeah, you are a doer.
I don't
So
wait.
it just do. And really big value from the €1 starter kit, and also big value from the community. The community is not that small, Alex. It's not true. How many people do you have here?
No, but the AI Thinkers Club is big, but
Yeah.
the community around the cards
Okay, sorry.
is just the beginning right now. So
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to stick. I don't know if it's going to work. It's a prototype again. And come and play with that prototype with me. That's why I put such a low price. Yeah.
And the great things with the card is that Alex has developed a lot of activities himself. But the top of these cards is that with these cards, you can create your own activities for your workshops. So it's a never-ending story. The glossar will go bigger and bigger. And I guess this is also something that you want to experience maybe with the community around the cards, right?
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, I see the question. I forgot to tell about it. My cards, I don't sell them. I don't sell the physical cards. What I sell is the a digital download. And why do that? For several reasons. The first one is that I'm lazy and I don't want to deal with the logistics, and I don't want to deal with selling packages and all of that because I'm a one-person company. And then I also have good reasons. The first one is we have an AI trainer in Australia. I'm not going to ship the cards to Australia from transportation cost. It's a nightmare. Environmental cost. It's a nightmare, and things like that. Also, if you print it locally, you can print it. It's more flexible to you. You can have a local printer and have good relationship with them. But what I want to do in the community is help you to, for example, we're going to organize group printing. Right now, there is Mike who is trying to organize a group print in the UK. So this is all the kind of stuff that we can invent as a community. So the link to join the AI trainers community is, I'm going to give you right now.
Wait a minute.
Here.
I don't have this one.
Yeah, well, the idea is either the best way, I think, is to buy the €1 starter pack and add the community access. You can also only buy the community access if you want with the link I've just given. All right. That's enough for setting. Now you get the call to action, right? Now I'm more than, what time is it? Yeah, so we have two things to do right now. We have the Q&A, and after the Q&A, we have the prizes, or we have the prize, and after the Q&A, you decide. Said, Nathy, Mehdi, we do it in which?
Just open the Q&A until for the next 10 minutes, and then or for the next 7 minutes, and then we will make the prizes. If people want to ask questions, and I'm sure there are a lot of questions.
The questions can either be on the how to kickstart a business, or can be on the AI cards.
I think,
Or-
guys, what we always did is that we had the price just after the talk, because if people really need to leave, I think it's not fair, even if it's just gifts.
Let's do the prices. You see, I'm super flexible. Q&A, price, Q&A.
You can still ask your questions in the chat while we are sharing the prices. Let's do that so we save a little bit of time. And that was my my hint to take over. Just takes me a second. And then we will push the according button. Here we are again. If you joined more than once in the past 4 days, you know the drill. We're giving away 2 prizes today, Alex, correct? And how you can participate. Yeah, awesome.
So
and how you can participate. Go first.
Sorry, first prize is a butter subscription. I don't remember. It's 1 year.
It's 1 year, 12 months, the biggest package there is. So
thank you, by the way, the Butter team for providing the price. So 1 year Butter subscription. Let's go.
Yeah, and again, just quickly, the rules. Rule number 1 is you still have to be in the room to claim your prize. And rule number 2 is you need at least 2 comments in the chat, which is always an opportunity to give a little shout out to Alex and say things or say something nice if you haven't done it already. So let me check. We have 63, 64. Okay, there are still some people joining the wheel. So I will give you like 10 more seconds to say something nice in the chat or whatever you like. It's just, you need 2 of them. And because it's kind of a tradition here, let's do this. And how many do we have? 68. Okay, last try. Okay, and I will spin the wheel and then ask if you are still in the room. If not, I will spin again. Spin the wheel. This was not synced.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it was not synced.
I only have 2 hands. We got Christiane. I saw you earlier. Are you still there? Christine. Sorry, I said Christiane.
Yes, I'm still here.
Bravo,
Awesome.
Christine.
She's in every session, supporting everywhere.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. 1 year of Butter. It's worth, I don't know, 200 something euros or even more. It's an awesome prize. Thanks again to Butter and to Jakob Knudsen for supporting us. And I will remove you because you can only win once per day. Second spin. Remind me, Alex, what is the prize for the second spin?
Well, the second spin, are all the cards available, and all the AI Thinkers cards available, and the community access, and the future prompt engineering expansion that I've already tested with a client, and that's going to be delivered next month or something like that. So it's worth something like 99 euros, I guess.
Awesome, thanks a lot. Everything's provided by Alex himself, and this time I will do it in sync in 3, 2, 1. See, that worked. Who we have? We have Alina.
Wow.
I saw your name. Are you still there?
You don't have the cards already, Alina.
Where are you? Raise your hand. Are you still there? Otherwise, we'll spin again. That was the rules.
Alina is not here.
Alina is not here. Okay, no. Then we will do.
I only won my cards. But you know what? I'm gonna offer them to Alina too. But
okay.
Turn the wheel again.
But turn the wheel so that we have someone who is here.
Let's see. I need sound effects for this, but next time. And we have... Is Bruno here? I will quickly check the list. Oh, unfortunately not. Removing, I will do quick rounds. I can see them in the... I can see them in the list that they are not here anymore. Raising your chances. Adam.
I can remember his cards. I can remember his card. Nice.
Are you here?
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
You're
Okay.
welcome. Hello, Dubai.
So you're going to receive a link. Contact
I'm
me on
here.
LinkedIn.
I'm here.
Ah, Alina is here? Who is here? Alina is here. So we have two winners of your card. Alina.
Yeah, no problem.
Is that okay,
Alina,
Alex?
Yes, of course. You know
Awesome.
I'm generous, right?
Thanks a lot. See, Alina, stay in front of your keyboard just in case you win something. So never leave a Zoom meeting too early. Okay, awesome. Congratulations to all three of you. And now, if let's go back, and we have a little bit of time if you want to stick with us. If there are any questions, any remarks, anything you would like to ask or share with us regarding what Alex talked about, now is the time. Raise your hand and also unmute yourselves.
Any FFF topic, now is the casual time, so you can stay. You can leave if you have to, absolutely no problem, and you can stay and we have a quick chat about anything. The meaning of life, 42, whatever.
Sasha asked earlier during the session, could you show the physical box you had before of the game you show the game into the camera? You remember? Yes, let me highlight you again.
The Adventure of Change. L'aventure du changement.
And I love this game, but I haven't sold it a lot. So now I don't sell it anymore, but we did a great work with my favorite designer. We had beautiful little cards like that with characters, and yeah, it's an awesome game. Mission cards. That was a great game. And I did another one that was also great, which is a game to teach the difference between lean startup, design thinking, and creative problem solving, and agile methods. And it's a mix between a board game and the name is escape game, and an escape game that you do with the participants, and again with a beautiful big board that you can put on the table. Yeah. Anyway, that's fun. But a lot of work. A card deck is much easier to do.
I think Talia asked 2 times the question today. Do you have a way that you encourage referrals?
Yeah, well, as I said, it's always the same. Do it at peak time. When your client is super happy about you ask for a referral. And asking for a referral is not making faire la manche.
Begging. It's not begging.
It's not begging. People are super happy to give a referral. But what you need to understand is that, first of all, you have to have them say yes. Then when they say yes, you have to have them say the names of the people they think of. And you can do that at the peak moment. But if we just say yes, then you have to wait for 3 days after, 1 week after, so that they think about the name, blah, 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 blah. So the more work you do at the peak moment, the better it is. Oh, yes, I think about this specific person at this specific department. Once you have that information, the next time you have on the phone, maybe to do a retro on the workshop. So, you should always do a retrospective on the workshop, right, with your clients. And the retrospective is the best way to close the referral. Oh, you spoke to me about blah, blah, blah from department, blah, blah, blah. Do you want me to contact, or do you want me to send an email with all the details that you can forward? And you minimize the amount of work that they have to do to indeed do the referral.
Alex, because we forgot, somebody reminded us of the hot framework PDF. I just shared it in the chat. Please download it directly from the Zoom chat. Thanks for the reminder. And Paul, we can see your hand. I just have one question before it gets lost in the chat from Suzanne. I think it was about the AI Tinkerers Club. Is it purely about AI, or do you plan to go broader with for a broader audience, or go broader with the topic?
So the AI Tinkerers Club is about AI. And because I need to be focused, and we have so many things to do, and it's a simple, I try to make it simple. So it's only AI for consultants, facilitators, and trainers, and how we can use it to help us in our job. And it won't expand to anything else.
Awesome. So, and then before Paul's arm starts to hurt, Paul, please unmute yourself and.
Thanks. The blood has drained from my hand. So that was a really great session, and thank you for all the other sessions as well. I'm really, really enjoying this series. It's I feel very grateful to be part of it. So thank you for putting this on. I can see there's a huge amount of work gone in. And something I've got loads of ideas as well from this session alone, which is very exciting. And I wanted to ask you a bit more, Alex, about the use of technology. I saw something about, I don't know if people were messing about or not, about using OBS Live in that 350 person workshop. You know, using lots of tech can be risky for when it goes wrong. So I'm just wondering how you kind of navigate that and what that looks like.
That's an excellent question. So first of all, you have to understand that I've been doing that for 13 years now. I've been a large group facilitator since June 2012. That was my first large group workshop. And I had a huge technical fail at that workshop. Okay. So since my first workshop, I learned that technology can fail. And at some point in my facilitator life, I had a technical checklist like that I was going through before going workshop. But because I was doing very complicated workshop, especially at that time, 1,000 people in a room, custom Wi-Fi. We didn't even go on the internet. We have the server in the room. So we were bringing 400 iPads to the participant at that time. So it was very, very, very complicated. Now it's much easier. Internet works. Most of it, 99% of the time, internet works great. Everybody has some really good phones in their hands, so you don't need to provide the devices. So it's simpler now, but it was 10 years ago. But it doesn't mean that it cannot fail. So you always have to have backup plans. And for example, maybe a lot of you don't even think about that, but I always bring 2 laptops with me. Even if I just show a presentation, you just show a PowerPoint presentation, and for whatever reason, your laptop stopped working. Well, if you don't have a second laptop, how do you do? Well, you can use the one from your clients and stuff like that, but it's better to have 2 laptops. So I have everything. I have backup for everything. This is also one of the reasons, very simple stuff. One of the reasons that the laptop that I have, all the laptop that I have for my professional life, they have an HDMI adapter built in. I don't need an external adapter. That's one less point of failure, either because of a technical adapter doesn't work or because I forget it because I have no brain. So yes, redundancy, that's the good word. Thank you, Talia. Now, after that, some technology might be nice to have. So if it works, great. If it doesn't work, you can do without it, okay? And just so that, because I have another webinar, by the way, I'm going to do a new edition soon with my 300, with the case study for my 300 people workshop. So I can already show you what you are telling me about. Let me find the slides. Yes. So so that's me. That's my laptop that I just showed you with OBS on it. Sorry, I need my pointer. Yeah, so that's me. That's my laptop with OBS. That's my webcam that I'm using to look at the GenAI cards. And that's a lamp because in an event room, you don't have a lot of lights in general. And so this is the kind of thing you do. I was able to show my hands moving with the cards directly to all the persons. And this is what the setup looks like. And the fact of using OBS, you can do some very sophisticated stuff. But again, if it doesn't work, it's more nice to have. You see, for example, I could show both the slides and how to use Storms on a mobile phone at the same time. Or I could show the result of the Storms workshop and the instructions and stuff like that. So this is the kind of thing you can do with OBS. If you have OBS with you, you're like, before 10 years ago, I had to have a full regie, a full team a full technical team behind me to show to do all this kind of change of screens and stuff like that in between the slides, the Storms results, the cards and stuff like that. Now I can do it all by my own. I didn't tell you, but the 300-person workshop, I was alone, totally alone. No co-facilitators. But now I'm going to have Nathy with me.
Yeah. Yes, I will be your best co-facilitator. I will do coffee. I will take over everything. No. I know. No. We will facilitate a lot of AI workshops.
Redundancy égale Nathy.
Yeah. I learned everything from you. With the AI workshops, I learned everything from you from the cards. So I'm really a typical person who learned from the cards, the activities, how to create different kind of workshop with these cards. So I can only recommend, because then you can create your own product. And my client don't know me as an AI facilitator, but are more than excited when I say we are coming for a series of workshops with Alexa Eisenstetter, and we will bring your team to really use the tools that you have made at their disposal, so that they are really using AI in their daily work. So I can only recommend these cards. They are here on my desk. I think I have 8 set of cards at home. And I'm a big, huge fan.
Thank you, Nathy. I'm a big fan of you, so it goes both ways.
So much love.
Sorry, everybody.
I have my hoodie just for you.
Thank you.
In your other color. Like, level up.
All right. Any other question? If there is no... Oh, maybe I have just one more thing about redundancy. If you're doing remote workshops, for example, here at home, well, you can see that here. That's my second. I have a wired access, and this is my 4G access. So if I have a problem at home while doing a remote webinar, I have 2 high-speed ways of getting internet. And if you cannot do that, the best redundancy plan is to be 2 facilitators in 2 different locations. So for example, if I'm facilitating with Nathy, and she's, where are you now, Nathy?
Right now I'm in France. In 1 week I'm in India.
So maybe she will be in India, I will be not far from Paris. If I have a technical issue and no more power in the house, well, she can take over. And in 13 years of career, it happened only 1 time, but I was very happy to have a co-facilitator. That was my buddy Roxanne. Some of you know Roxanne. She was in another city, and she could take over the workshop. So provided everybody knows the job of the other, it's one of the way to make sure you don't have any catastrophe while delivering a workshop, remote workshop. As I said, the OBS setup is always a nice to have. Today, for example, I could have done the same presentation not using OBS and not having this fancy stuff like that, but just using screen sharing. And the content would have been the same, a little bit less magic, but yeah, you have to always have backup plans. Alina, sorry if you mentioned this, but do you work as Said?
Aside,
You can
be contacted.
Can be contacted as Said is a producer for some workshops. Do you co-facilitate on demand with other facilitators, or do you do this only with your sweet Nathy?
So I'm open to any kind of collaboration, but I have to say that I limit myself to one workshop per month. As I said, I've reduced my before I had an agency. Now I'm a one-person facilitator, and more than that, I have my other businesses with stores, with the cars now, with the AITinkers Club, with the training. So I have only room for one workshop per month. So it's not a problem of willingness, it's more a problem of planning in general. But other than that, I think, Nathy, you're going to speak about that, by the way, this afternoon. That's a good transition. Working with others.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I will speak about a lot of things that you already put in your key takeaways. So I'm thinking I have 1.5 hours to change all my slides. No, I will not.
No, because it's going to be a different angles, different perspective on the same thing. So that's perfect.
Yes, but we will go through the 4 ingredients of my recipe for my own business, and one of them, and this is the last one, the last ingredient is building an ecosystem. And one of the point of this ecosystem is having collaborations. So yes, we will talk about this because this is for me the key of my own growth, not working just alone and learning and working with others. So if you want to come, I will be in pink, of course.
Me too.
Will be you. Oh, I love you so much. Said, can we have some heart coming up? Oh, yes, very good. So like, no, you don't need to come in pink, but yes, my session is at 5 o'clock, and it's about the recipe of a successful facilitation business. And yeah, we will talk about collaboration, but also about other things.
Okay, all right.
Good.
Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks a lot for listening to the crazy French facilitator and strange French accent. And
I don't know what you mean. I don't know at all what you are meaning. Do you speak with a French accent?
Yes, I do. I don't even have to force myself. I know I have this strange French accent. Anyway, I hope we're gonna see all of you at Nathy's session a little bit later in this afternoon Paris time. And in the meantime, you have the right to do a couple of emails, design a couple of sessions, but then we want you back. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. And see you soon. Ciao, ciao.
Merci, dankeschön.
Bye-bye.
We don't have a little bit of level up music?
Level up music. Alina, bye-bye. Alina, our cheerleader. You won something. I'm so happy for you. So happy for you. And
bravo,
Karen Brothers, I see her in each of our session. You are in each session, Karen. Crazy.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Ciao, ciao.